Thank you so much for coming on.
It's my pleasure, Miles. Thank you so much for reaching out.
So let's start here. Are founders made or born?
Very interesting question on multiple levels. One of the ones that you're bringing to mind is something that the Wall Street Journal asked me to do about a decade ago, to be one side of a debate about can entrepreneurship be taught? Very related to it. Can you take someone who isn't a born entrepreneur, make them into an entrepreneur? Or is that going to be ill-fated and things like that? So a related debate to it. I actually thought it'd be a lot more interesting and fun if they asked me to do the no side of the debate. And no, it can't be taught, but unfortunately they asked me to do the yes side of the debate. The other thing that brings to mind is also an old debate that people had in a parallel stream about, are leaders born, or can you make someone a better leader? And I think we kind of resolved that some decades ago, that you can definitely teach leadership, you can enhance people's leadership skills. There's going to be people at the extremes. There's going to be people all the way down to the low end of the leadership capabilities that no matter what you're going to do, you're not really going to be able to develop them into leaders. And there might be some people at the top end of it who are born leaders and stuff like that. But then in general, everyone else in the distribution can improve their leadership skills, can learn pieces of it. And I think it's the same thing with entrepreneurship, that there's a bunch of things that we can foster, a bunch of experimentation that we can have people do to get to know themselves, to get them to know a lot more about the path ahead. There's a lot of things that aren't just instinctive in entrepreneurship. And in fact, the core of a bunch of the things that I've been doing research in for the last 20 years that highlights that when we follow our instincts, that's when we get in trouble as founders often, especially when it comes to the people decisions that I focus on. And so being able to educate people about it, a lot of times the analogy, and I think I might have used this in that Wall Street Journal piece, is to chemistry students. We don't just take them and throw them into a chemistry lab, say mix some chemicals and see what blows up. And out of that, you'll learn chemistry. There are a lot of things that we've learned about the best practices and the things to avoid within entrepreneurship that we can teach people. We can arm them ahead of time with a bunch of the do's and don'ts that we've been able to learn about. We're never going to be able to free them up from going and venturing on their own and making some mistakes and having to learn how to recover from it. But if we can arm them ahead of time with as much knowledge as we can, then yes, we can take someone who maybe isn't a born entrepreneur, but is going to be able to get better at being able to take what they are born to do and translating it into entrepreneurial realms. And part of the training that we can also give them is how to be resilient, how to take the setbacks, how to be able to get stronger from them rather than being defeated by them. And so at both of those levels, I think there are things that we can do to take everyone and be able to increase their entrepreneurial capabilities short of the people who are at the low end of the extreme.